candle. As soon as we get live on YouTube, I can turn it off here. Welcome. Come on in. Tell me where you're coming in from. Candle. Yay. All right. Let me get here with you guys. I need to see you. Oh, hi. Hello, everybody. Hi. Cool Wet. Farnham, UK. Right on, Jane. How you doing? Hey, Margarita. Hey, Deirdre. Hey, Zoe. Lucy. Hi, Crystal. Ellie, Paula, Carol, Fabiana, Solange, Naomi, Megan. There's so many people. Nicole, how you doing? Mexico City's in the house. Oakland, Minnesota, Ontario. Just all the people. Hi, Indiana. Day 3. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to day 3. Hold on, let me get my notes and move them where I can see them because so many things to discuss. So many. Hi. Please switch to, yes, Tracy, you're right. I didn't even get there yet. Please switch to everyone in your chat, right? Your drop-down menu. You want to make sure it's on everyone because if not, then only me and Team TC are seeing it. We want everyone to see it. We get to my notes. See, I'm not looking at my notes and I'm not saying the things. Yes, you can, Ashley, you can find the replays from the past 2 days at terricole.com/HQ for headquarters. We got all the things for you. You can get everything that you need there. So let's make it an official. It's 12:01 and we got lots to talk about. So I'm officially welcoming you to Father Wound 101. We are here live. Woo! We are in real life live. Session 3 of 3. So exciting. So today's topic is practical steps to healing. So I'm super pumped that you guys are here for me all the way from Romania. Yeah, right on. How you doing, Loretta? Hey, Sandy. Wow, we got people. You guys take a look in the chat. People from all over the world. All right, someone just asked about the 8-week virtual coaching course. The link, if you know you want to sign up for the actual course that starts on June 16th or 19th, whatever the team says, it's terricole.com/Father Wound. And what are the dates for the 8-week program? Someone from Team TC is going to drop that because if I go all the way to the bottom of my list. But yes, we start in June. And we go for 8 weeks. So it's like being, just snuggled up together, kind of like this for 8 weeks. In the chat is where you're going to put your questions, put a couple of question marks in front of them as we've been doing, because it makes it easier for Team TC to grab them and then I can answer them. Yes, you got that. So make sure you're also talking to everyone in the drop-down menu. We got Florida in the house. Someone's grandparents are from Romania. Look at that. So many people. Yes. Yes, I think that the father and mother wound thing that you asked about yesterday, Michelle, I think we put that in HQ. So I don't know, but Team TC, there was a question about father and mother wounds, and I think we were going to put that link in the HQ. So go to terricole.com/HQ. Hey, Sarah from Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. All of you guys, before we get into our grounding, which we will do before we actually get into the content. Hold on, let me make sure that this is on airplane mode so we don't hear anything and that it's on silent. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. I want you guys to slow down wherever you're coming in from and really take a minute to acknowledge yourself that you're here, that you're doing this, that you care, that you're invested in your healing, that you care about the quality of your life and your relationships, that you want to be seen, known, heard, all of the things. You're actually taking steps to make that happen. I mean, this is the commitment to changing what isn't working in your life, is deciding that you're going to do something about it, right? There's lots of people who can teach you this work. You just happen to be drawn to my work, which I'm very grateful for, right? But there's lots of ways for you to do this work. The most important thing is that you do it, is that you prioritize it, is that you know that you matter, that what you want matter, because you deserve, I was saying yesterday, just so much more than you're tolerating. And I think if we bring to mind, we can all bring to mind stuff like, what bullshit behavior are you tolerating and in what relationships? Like, what comes to mind right now? If you were to go, like, what am I tolerating? Is it employees being late? Is it partners forgetting anniversaries or birthdays or not doing anything? Is it being the only person doing the emotional labor in the house? Is it feeling like everyone thinks that you work for them? Maybe you do. Yeah. Right. What are you tolerating in your life right now? Because those are the things that we stop tolerating as we start healing a father wound, right? Fabiana said, I've tolerated too much. Yes, many of us have tolerated too much. And moving into the not anymore, right? This is the pivot point where we just make decisions that I see this in women, especially 40s, 50s, 60s, and this is for young women as well. But there's a reality that it's like hitting a wall. Yep. Um, Tolerating um, subordinates yelling at me. Like, no, right? We've got to be done with that. Like, no. I've tolerated a 15-year unrewarding relationship. I see you, Wendy. You are not alone. Anyone else tolerating an unfulfilling relationship? Anybody not getting your need met, you know? Yeah. Yes. So you're not alone. I hit the wall at 43, someone said. Yeah. Emotionally unavailable. 40 years. I feel you. Extreme rude, covert, narc brother. Yeah, maybe that brother should have less access to you. My mother tolerated not being seen for 30 years. Yeah, 42 years I'm in a relationship that I'm finished with. Yes, Lisa. Done. Done. And it's not about regretting those things, right? It's about how are we going to live now? What do we want in our lives now? Tolerating dysfunctional family, have been tolerating my son berating me, criticizing me, and showing how unimportant I am, said Susan. And this is all so painful, right? It's all so painful. And yet we can become empowered. And I promise you that if you're drawn to this father wound work, it means you have a father wound that needs your attention. Carrying ancestral pain and trauma. Not okay. Agreed. Tolerating my own emotional unavailability and self-sabotage. And Margarita, we actually handle a lot of that. The self-sabotaging piece, that shit is real. That shit is real. We will dive deep. We'll be talking about some of that today, and we're going to dive deep into that in the course itself. Tolerating being Cinderella, daughter to raging entitled dad who uses age as an excuse and demands me to be a slave while elder brother does nothing at home. No, no. No, like enough of that, you know? Yes. And I feel, and Dunya said, I feel like I sabotage healthy relationships. Yes, but there's reasons why, because they're not familiar to you. So part of it is we've got to go back. This is where the going back before we go forward comes in to understand why we can't tolerate healthy relationships, why it is so stressful, or why what I found with my therapy clients is that they think they're boring, right? Healthy relationships are like supposed to feel something more than this. Fabiana, tolerating toxic family members. Yeah. Tolerating doubting myself and my worth with others because my parents were constantly afraid of and diminishing mine. Yes. Sabotage all the important parts of me. Yes, this relationship felt super boring and lacking in passion. That's why I broke it off. I understand this. I understand this. And yet, I'm not saying that person was your soulmate, right? But we need to understand what's happening with our nervous system, right? And what we associated unconsciously with love and how that changes as we get healthier. Christina said, oh my God, I tolerated a relationship where the guy would not listen to my important request. Kept stating the same request almost 15 years, finally closed the door a year ago. Good for you, Christina, because 15 years is a long time to tolerate that, right? Now it's time for you. So overwhelming when a partner makes me feel vulnerable and safe, not normal. Yes, but being flooded with emotion, which is what you're describing, that is normal when you've had the experiences that you've probably had. So not healthy, right? These are the things that we change by systematically addressing, integrating, honoring a father wound. But it's one step at a time. None of this work can be done overnight, and none of this work can be done even in 3-day workshops, right? We need a little bit more time. We need time, repetition. We need safety, right? And hopefully I've created a safe space here, but we need more time, right? Yes. Candace said, did I miss it? I don't even know what a healthy relationship looks like, to be honest with you. And a lot of people are agreeing with you. Joe said, tolerating 73-year-old raging man-child dad and a million enabling relatives. Ugh, yes. All right, so we're going to talk about attraction. And of course, we do attachment stuff in the course itself. And Kiara said the space is very safe here, which I'm happy to hear. That is my heart's desire, is to create the safest container that you've ever experienced in your life, knowing that all of it belongs here. All of you belong here, but all of it belongs here. Even the stuff we're ashamed of, even the stuff we feel embarrassed about, that belongs here, because that's what we do, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of. How could we possibly know shit that nobody taught us, right? We are learning about that. And I want to acknowledge the people who are not here live because they couldn't be, but that you're watching this after the fact, right? Because you're also carving out time for yourself and saying that you matter. I appreciate all of you being here, whether it's after the fact or whether it's right here in this moment. Now, if you are here from, hello, Rachel from Ireland, I want you to turn off all distractions, please. How often do you give yourself the gift of your own attention? How often do you give yourself that gift? So do it today. Let's do it. Let's do something. That's right. Renee said never. Well, you know what? How about doing it right now? Yes. So what is Father Wound 101? We did 3 sessions over 3 days. If today is the first day that you're doing this, is designed to raise your awareness about what a father wound is, how a father wound might be negatively impacting your self-esteem, your relationships, your sense of self, plus some steps that you can take, which is what we're handling today, to get on a healing journey. This is part of a whole free month-long training leading up to my brand new course, Understand and Transform Your Father Wound. It's an 8-week course, which starts on June 19th. So that's what we're doing here. That's what this is. If this is new to you, if you just got here, welcome. We're super happy that you are here. In the other 2, we basically covered what it is, how it's impacting, how it's showing up in your life. And now we're talking more about, in this session, more about self-consideration, inner child stuff, some practical steps that you can take towards healing. Make sure also, you guys, that you download the workbook if you haven't, because we made it for you and it's free and it's gorgeous. terricole.com/workbook. Really, if not now, right? When? If not who? You, right? If not you, who? That's get it together, Terry. But you know what I'm saying? This is your time. And I feel like you are saying yes to you, which just warms my heart so much, because you guys are it. As you know, you're my whole thing. You know, people have like their whole trip, like what their trip is. Literally, you are my whole trip. You're my whole motivation. You're what really does inspire me to do what I do is you, and the pain that I know that you're in, and the potential that I know that you have to be in so much less pain. And many of you have taken courses with me already, so you know that this stuff works, that it works, right? It works. Been following you for a good while. Amazing podcast. Listen on Spotify, at work, in the car, on holidays. Yay, Rachel. Terry has it together and she's great too. 30 years of therapy does something for you, right? And 27 years as a therapist. Right. So on point, relatable, soothing. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Candace said, thank you. This is, you guys though who know me, you know, I'm nothing if not consistent. Like, this has been the truth for me from the beginning. This is why I did it, because I had my own resistance about coming out and being public. So what are we doing today? Like the other days, I'll be teaching 35 to 40 minutes. Then I'll be taking Q&A. If you have questions, again, put 5 question marks in front so Team TC can grab them. Questions will probably go a little bit longer today because it's the last day. And I know there's also going to be a lot of questions about the course itself. I want to make sure that we get to everything. So just make sure that your chat setting is on, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here. Here's your official welcome to session 3 of Father Wound 101. Woo! After all that, now I need a grounding. So let's get something delicious out. I'm using my Unwind by Sage. You guys, I need to do like a brand partnership with these people, because really I'm just giving them free. I've just been giving them free advertising since the moment I smelled their stuff. I was like, oh my God. Yum. All right. Uncross your legs. Do the same. All right. Have your hands open. I'm going to ask you to gently close your eyes. Just breathe. Just breathe. I'm going to ask you to drop your attention inward. And I really want to tap into that place in your heart and in your mind and in your thoughts of gratitude. Gratitude for yourself. Gratitude for the resiliency of the human spirit. My God, the crap that we could go through and still be hopeful enough to be here. Like, yeah, gratitude for our inner child. Right? She hasn't given up. She's here, you're here, whether you're live, whether you're watching this after the fact. Gratitude for any of the people who, as my friend David G would say, have been in the front row of your life. The people who cheer you on, the people who are just devoted to you winning. And if you don't have those people in your life, you do, because you have me. You have Team TC, you have this crew. I'm devoted to you winning without a doubt, because I know that you can. And when I say winning, that means you getting whatever it is that you want in life. I don't know what that is. I don't pretend I do. We all have different ideas, but I do want you to be happy. I want you to be satisfied. I want you to be seen, known. I want the world to know your beautiful and unique genius, because you have a particular medicine that only you can bring. And you can only bring it because of exactly what you experienced in your life. And just gratitude for your ability to get up again and to go, you know what? I'm hopeful. I think things can change. I think I can grow. And just let that feeling of gratitude wash over you like a waterfall. And visualize the things you want to change. What isn't working? And then imagine your life without dealing with that bullshit. Imagine setting a boundary with a subordinate or a kid who's yelling at you or diminishing you or trying to. Imagine just saying, no, thank you, walking away. Yeah, you know what? I used to tolerate that, but I don't anymore. So we won't be doing that, since I'm your effing boss or whatever. Maybe you can leave the effing part out. Visualize on the other side of this healing, what is there for you? Just imagine laying your head on the pillow at night and feeling at peace, feeling like, you know what? All is well. That doesn't mean all is perfect. When I say all is well, I mean that whatever is happening in your life, you feel confident that you can manage it, handle it, deal with it, stop the stuff that isn't working for you. Right? Because we all still have to live and we all still have to interact with people. So there's always going to be something. But what I want for you is that level of self-confidence and self-consideration that allows you to sleep well, because you know that whatever life throws at you, you've got it. You'll figure it out. You're okay. I'll ask you to just put your attention on your heart chakra. You can put your hands on your heart, and we're going to breathe in twice here, just releasing anything that's blocking or hardened around your heart chakra with the out breath. So breathing in and exhale. Breathing in again. And release. And just feel the lightness of your heart, of your chest, being buoyed by the hope that what it is that you want is possible. And now bring your attention to your third eye, right between your eyebrow and a little bit up. And we're going to do the same thing, clearing away any debris, anything that's blocking your third eye, which is your ability to see things with clarity, your inner knowing, your gut instinct, your sixth sense. Breathing in and exhale. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and release. And clearing this will help you see things with clarity. A lot of times we feel confusion around situations. That really is fear. We're afraid to know what we need to know about this situation because we're afraid we don't know how to take the next steps. So reassure yourself that you can know the truth about the situations in your life and learn more before you take any steps. And be guided along your journey before you take any steps. You don't need to do anything, but knowing the truth about what's happening in your life and in your relationships, that is super important for you to know for yourself. So I'll ask you to set your intention for our time together today. Mine is that you learn something, have some epiphany, some aha moment that helps you lessen your own suffering and elevate your own joy. So after you've set your intention, we'll take one last deep breath in together on the count of 3, and let's exhale audibly with a sigh. 1, 2, 3, breathing in. Ah. All right. Open your eyes. Come on back. Welcome. So now that we're sort of in that place in our mind, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. This is our participation part, so just drop your answer. Ooh, Rachel said, thank you, amazeballs. I love it. Yeah, I definitely needed that today myself. Just an instant, relaxation. Melody said, I feel clear. Yes, it was a very challenging week. I needed that. Thank you. So much needed. Love the breath work. Me too. All right. So question, have you struggled to trust others due to past experiences with your father? Do you see this connection? Yes. 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 Yes, I see you. Same. Have you experienced reoccurring feelings or experiences of abandonment or rejection? Because a lot of times I would feel rejected by something, even when the person wasn't actually rejecting me. Does that make sense? I would feel so slighted. I was so easily butthurt about things, and it felt like rejection. Yes. Rejection, dismissed, ghosted. Yep. Yes, totally. Same. As we were talking before, yeah, feeling rejected at work all the time. Me too. I used to, right? Took everything personally. I'm like, God, I was so thin-skinned that I was also looking for it. I was looking into people's behaviors and seeing shit that in hindsight, I don't think was there, but it was for me because it was inside of me, anticipating the feeling of, yes, waiting for it. I would also break up with people for that reason. I would just be like, I can't promise you anything, blah, blah, blah. You know, like I would find a way to ditch them before they would ditch me, you know, especially if they were normal people. And then I would find one who lived in Greece and be like, this is my soulmate. He lives on the island of Thassos in Greece, but he's my soulmate. Gad. All right. What about patterns of self-sabotage or negative self-talk? Like, anyone have a really brutal inner mean committee? Mine was just so bad. Name calling, you're an idiot. my inner voice used to say, and still sometimes does, like a very like, that's what you get sort of a vibe, which is so friggin' mean. I would never say that to anyone that I cared about. Literally never. Never. That's what you get. I would never say to my kids. I would never say to my sisters. Oh, I would never say half the shit that I've said to myself inside to anyone. You know? Yes. Can you give an example of self-sabotage? Yes. Ending a relationship with someone who's decent prematurely because you're bored without looking deeper into, are you bored or is it just unfamiliar, without doing the father wound work? You know what I mean? Yeah. Was that more clear? Oh, there's lots of ways. Self-sabotaging. If you don't think you're worthy of having a good job, right? You find a way on the biggest presentation of your career to like go out and get wasted on margaritas with your friends the night before and be unprepared and do a shitty job. That's self-sabotage, where it's not that you're not capable of doing a great job, right? It's that you find a way of getting in the way of doing that great job. And another thing, which we will talk about, and we really dive deep into this in the course, is do you struggle with the idea of forgiving your father for past hurts? Do you feel on the hook to do that? Do you feel like you need to? Do you feel like you should forgive? Anybody? I forgive myself, which I love that. Yes, Lily, getting sick before dates, going, yeah, exactly. Going out with, yeah, Candace, I recognize last days. Mm-hmm. He deserves forgiveness. Yes, I forgave him on his deathbed. Hard to forgive. Yeah, this is so complicated, you guys. So we'll dive into that a little bit today, and then a lot more in the course about forgiveness, what it really is, what it can and cannot do for us. And I always have other suggestions outside of the forgiveness package that comes in. Religion seems to infiltrate all this stuff about being righteous, which is not that, because I think a lot of times we think that forgiving means excusing the behavior, you know? And if that's what I thought it meant, I wouldn't forgive either. So, yeah. And Sunshine said I did forgive my father moments before his death. So a lot of people have had that experience. So let's move into one of the things that can be super challenging is when we have a father wound in particular, is self-expression, right? Especially if you were not encouraged to share your feelings as a child. Right? Many people experience significant blocks when it comes to communicating deep feelings, right? It's like we're afraid to do it. Maybe we don't even know how we feel because there's confusion about that. And on the other side, of that fear, right, of being vulnerable or of doing it wrong, because when you think about it, there's so much of that. This is where the endless potential for more love, self-forgiveness, connection, self-consideration, which really is the stuff that changes your life. Like it actually is the stuff that changes your life. So this is a major block that exactly Solange said where to begin. You guys also know that sometimes it's just with a couple of words, a relationship can change course and start progressing in the right direction. It's yes. May said, oh my God, I never realized this too is stemming from this. Oh my God. Yes, without a doubt. So think about for yourself, if you find it difficult to express your feelings, right? Let's just do this. And I'm gonna walk you through it in real time of things that you can do right now. So right now, just take a moment. Take a deep breath in, slowly exhale to release any tension. And right now, I just want you to think about what you're feeling in this moment. Just name 3 emotions, right? And this might be challenging, but the more you do this, and we have this in the workbook for you, so don't worry, this practice becomes easier over time. Okay, SCAP says confused. Okay, that's a feeling. Anxious, nervous, activated, regretful, sad, angry, gratitude, hope, love, validation, sad, very emotional, on edge, frustrated. Yeah. Lisa said, after yesterday's session, I was able to express my concern about the way my partner spoke to me early in a relationship and said that would not be tolerated. Oh, wow, that makes me want to jump up and do a jig, Lisa. Seriously, because that's Lisa gave us the perfect example of how a few words can change the course of a relationship. I have so much anger towards me, said BB. Lori said, I feel hopeful. Feeling not much, vague. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes we'll feel a malaise almost of confusion, right? And Lisa said, I would have engaged in a shouting match in the past. Yeah, no more, man. You don't need to, right? Because now you're going to have words and boundaries. And these things change the course of our relationships. They really do. Right? Nervous, doubtful. Said Vanessa, I feel inadequate for the work required to heal, helpless like a kid, feel like I'm running late in life. Joe, babe, you're right on time. You're not running late in life. I understand the feeling, but trust me, I've been doing this a long time. You're right on time. You're here now. You're here now. And Candace feels you, and lots of other people feel you. But that's the whole point of me doing this training and of me creating the Father Wound course, is because it's never too late. And this could be the next best half or third of your life, right? You getting empowered, it's not too late. And just looking on social media, lots of women are talking about this. Still working on it at 82, not too late ever. That's right, Marilyn, 82. I want to be like, do it. We're all here. Yes, Grace said hope tends to scare me, but let me hold it for you, Grace, for this moment, right? I'm holding the hope for you. You don't have to be scared because I got you, right? You're here and it's not too late. Exactly. Lisa said it's not too late. I'm trying to do all that I can to make sure that my remaining years are so much better than what I've already lived. Yes, you guys are all right on time. You're right on time. So just be rest assured. This exercise, you saw all of the feelings. Yes, Kira said, I got you. Words I know a lot of us need to hear and never did. Safety. Yes, you are, though, safe here, like for sure. And you're safe with me. Like I am an emotionally trustworthy person. I know you know that, which is why you're drawn to my work, but it is true. I want you to continue with this exercise because you'll have it in your workbook where you're tapping in to how you feel on a regular basis. There's we got 4 steps right there that are easy to do, but this is the beginning. And anyone who feels overwhelmed by this process, understand that the way that I teach and the way that I'm at what I'm asking you to do right now, these are all baby steps, right? Yes, Allison said, I'm 70 and widowed and in a new relationship, trying very hard to be honest in a new relationship. Yeah, it's hard if you haven't been in the past, but it's possible is the point. Just look at Lisa just gave us a perfect example of doing something differently. She would have had a shouting match with someone in the past. And instead, she basically said, I'd like to make a simple request that you don't raise your voice to me that way, because if you do, it doesn't work for me and I'm not going to stay in this relationship. You can do that. Jane said, I'm trying to heal because my folks move near me for our help and it's triggering me a lot. A lot of people are in that situation, Jane, right? A lot of people. May said, I'm 64 and want to transform my entire life. And you can. That is the best news of all, you know? And I think the next step in this process is talking about resentment, talking about forgiveness, because I think it's so important that what I see in my therapy practice and in my courses and in my mastermind group is people beating themselves up because they can't, forgive. They feel like they should, then they don't want to. And they feel like if they do forgive, then they're losing something, they're giving something up, right? So let's talk a little bit about if you find it hard to move past resentment towards your father, towards the way that your father failed or harmed you, right? The way that we do it here, remember, forgiveness is not about excusing. their actions, right? And it's not even about getting to the point, because I feel like so many of you are so loving and so understanding that you're like, I understand why my father was the way he was. He was less abusive than his own father, blah, blah, blah. Ah, you know who doesn't want to hear that shit? The kid within you is like, enough. I spent my childhood making excuses. We have to, at the very least, acknowledge that what you experienced was real. What happened in your life was real. You have every right to be mad, to be hurt, to be angry, to be disappointed, to feel hate, to feel rage. Now, we don't want to stay there. The whole point of healing the wound, the whole point of the course, the whole point of what we're talking about now is we don't want to stay in that feeling, but we can't bypass that feeling either, right? That's impossible. We can't bypass it. So we're not excusing their actions, but freeing yourself from ongoing damage, right? So let's talk about how to do this. Steps to basically liberate yourself from that grip of toxic emotions to start creating a healthier emotional future for yourself. Because again, remember yesterday and the day before, we kept saying, hey, it's not your fault. But what we really want to also focus on today is that it's not about them, that it's about you again. Someone said, does it help to consider him dead, even if he isn't? I mean, maybe temporarily, but that doesn't heal the original injuries. You know what I mean? So we need to get to the original injuries of what you experienced. So the first thing we're going to do, and again, this is all in your workbook, you guys. So these are the steps. We're talking about the steps that you can take. Some of them we're taking here together, like the one we just did. And then this one, you're going to do more on your own, but you're going to write it out. Start by journaling your feelings about your father, right? Write down everything totally unfiltered. What happened? How it made you feel? How it's impacted you? This is about getting all your thoughts and feelings out without holding back. It can be similar to what Julia Cameron says to do the morning pages, right? In The Artist's Way. Those of you who remember The Artist's Way from the 80s. Anyway, it could just be like a mind dump, but we're really writing it all out. Yes, exactly. And we're sort of thinking about the peak experiences. A lot of times, if you had an abusive or an absent father, we're talking about the peak bad experiences of what you had. Yeah. Original injury, leaving me at 3 and never coming back, finding his obituary on the internet. Yeah, Nikki, that would create a morning. That would create an injury for sure. And the original injury is the leaving you, right? That's the original abandonment injury. Morris said, I do morning pages every day. Amazing. All right. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to do is write it out. Oh, good. C said, feeling lots of love for you. Oh, lots of community. Thank you, Terry. Of course. This is how we do it. Community is where it's at. I don't know. I couldn't live my life without women, like that would be without my sacred spaces. Oh, forget it. All right, the next thing you're going to do as the steps towards healing is you're going to do something like objective reporting, we call it, where you rewrite what you've journaled, but in this time, you try to do it as if you were a neutral reporter. So again, now this is not going to be taking away from your experience, right? But we are going to look at this is where we can look at it a little bit more externally. Like if you have a father wound because your father passed away, this is where you look at it and say, okay, he died. He did not have control over that, right? So you're sort of looking at it from a different angle to possibly understand the context to see if that doesn't soothe the abandonment wound some. And even if it was looking at a father who was addicted, right? Again, we're not giving anyone a free pass. Get it? So that's not what we're talking about. But we're talking about if we then look at it from this point of view of like, oh, my father was a heroin addict or whatever, the adult in you can help the child and you understand that some of the pain caused wasn't intentional. And again, this is not to take away what you experienced. It's sort of just looking at it from, first, we super honor the child's perspective. Then we do a little bit more of a neutral perspective. And then we really need to be witnessed, right? And that's what this is about. And that's actually what the course is about, because a lot of people don't have people in their lives that they feel safe enough to be witnessed by. So we need this sacred space in this community. It's so crucial that your feelings are acknowledged by others who understand, right? Consider sharing your written thoughts with a trusted friend who can listen without judgment, right? Yeah, no, Solange, if there was sexual abuse, you're not doing step 2. Definitely not. No, because there are certain levels of abuse, you guys. So again, the objective reporting you skip if there was physical sexual abuse. No, even verbal abuse, right? Because the thoughts about that is that it'll be very, that can feel like we're making excuses. So absolutely. Thank you, Solange, for bringing it up, though. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and my VIP crew. I got you. All right. The witnessing is important, but we don't want to have friends who love to give us advice. We don't want them witnessing us and giving us advice. It would have to be with something else. You know what I mean? It would have to be someone who can understand and someone who's willing to just hold space. And we do a lot of this in the course itself. So if you're going to take the course and you don't have anyone in your life, don't worry, we're going to be doing that. I think there's something that is really important too, for those of you. We don't write it if it was verbal abuse. Yeah, I don't think you do. I don't think you do, Michelle. Because here's the thing, where there's any abuse, I don't think we need a different perspective. You know, and I think that, yeah, I don't think you need a different perspective, because really when it comes to abuse, and this is also something that we talk about quite a lot before even getting into the course itself, is that any unhealed trauma, like meaning any, like if you have complex childhood trauma that would, hold on one sec. Joe said, that means I can't do any writing since my, well, you can do the first one, which is basically doing the writing it out, journal out everything. Yeah, I think that does take most people out of it. So maybe we should just take it out of the workbook altogether, because really we don't actually need it. It's the witnessing and the dumping. Exactly. We're all skipping step 2. I did not think it through. That's what happened. I did not think it through. All right. So let's talk about unhealed trauma, any complex trauma. Joe, it's in your workbook, so don't worry. It's basically writing it out, journaling your feelings about your father or your father figure. Write down everything unfiltered, what happened, how it made you feel, how it's impacted you. So we're just skipping step 2. If it's still, and I don't even know if it's still in the workbook. It might not be after this conversation, because really it probably shouldn't be. So let's talk about any diving into anything online. Is you really have to make sure that you don't have unhealed complex trauma from childhood, meaning, and when I say healed, I mean undealt with. Like, have you managed it? Have you had any therapy around it? Because no course online, even if it's run by a currently licensed psychotherapist, right? I don't call this therapy, right? Because it's not. It is therapeutically informed, without a doubt. But I always say, as long as you had therapy around it, you are appropriate for the course itself. If you've had none, then my feeling is you really need to work with a trauma expert before you take a course online, which is what I always say. And if you're on the fence and you have a therapist, you can show the therapist the landing page for the course, or you can ask us and ask me, email support@terricole.com, any questions that your therapist might have, because I am for sure therapist approved. So we get so many of the clients that have come to me and come to this group right here from their therapist. So yes, we are going to have a Terri Cole retreat. Donna, don't you worry. I'll let you know. We're actually talking about doing more of that, not just with my mastermind group, but doing it for people who just want to be together with me for 3 days or 4 days. So we're in the process of planning that. So hopefully by next year. I don't see it happening before next year, but yes, I would like. West Coast is good for me. It was just there. So Australia, that's a possibility. If we got enough people, I would love to come to Australia to do it. So you guys, you know me. If my people are there, I want to go. I think Singapore might be a teeny bit far, but can you come to us? Yes, I'm definitely going to be doing something in London for sure to around the book early next year because the book comes out in October. So it won't be in London until a little later. All right, you guys. So the exercises, this is the type of stuff that we do in the course, right? All of this diving deep, and obviously it's a deeper dive than these because I'm guiding you every step of the way. And this, for you, I think the releasing, like letting yourself out of resentment prison around the father wound is really what we want, right? It's realizing that by holding on to heated resentment or hate for this person, that is going through you, right? Like we can't have those feelings. They don't go around us. They go through us. So we're experiencing them. And even though it's righteous anger that you have, meaning you have every right to have it, the whole reason I want you to resolve it and honor it and integrate it is because who the hell wants to walk around feeling that? Right? Do you want to walk around feeling that way? You don't. So by honoring, the only way that we can move through this is that we have to honor it. We cannot just slough it under the rug, you know? Yeah, Susan said, I had to realize that he was never going to be the dad that I need, which helped me accept him back into my life. Yeah. Yeah. And spewing it out to others. Correct, because this is what happens with the anger. There's a lot of displaced aggression that can happen. And then talk about having a transference. Before I resolved my own father wound injury and understood how it had profoundly impacted my life, my career, my relationships, especially, I was for sure taking it out on others. So what do they say? It's like bleeding on those who did not cut you. I mean, it happens. Yes, the anger and bitterness is just poisoning myself. Yes, it's so true, Margarita. And I'm sick of feeling the way I have forever. Yeah, it may, but there's a way out, right? There's a way out of this. If you're sick and tired, then you're sick and tired. And maybe you're really ready to do something different. Join the course. It's going to be great. I'm going to take your questions. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course. It doesn't start until the 19th. So, yes, exactly. Moving on. Like it's so exhausting being in not forgiveness, you know? The course itself, the way that I've built the course, it's based on my 5 pillars of transformation. If you've done any of my courses or know anything about my work, it's basically the primary goal of Father Wound course itself is to teach you how to fully integrate an entirely new way of being in your day-to-day life. This isn't just like the peak experiences. This is us getting into the nitty-gritty of how has this been impacting you for so much. That's why all the practices, techniques, the concepts are informed by these 5 pillars of self-mastery to accelerate personal growth without really burning out or staying stuck at a certain juncture. So 5 distinct stages of personal, emotional, and psychological development are essential to actually real sustainable change. Like we can acknowledge it, but we need to move into more. We need to move into the nitty-gritty of. So anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about the course, if I may, and then we will move into the questions as I promised. Understand and transform your father wound. That's the name of the course itself. It is an 8-week virtual coaching program with live Q&A every week with me. So it's a combination of recorded material, and then once a week we get together for Q&A. We also have weekly embodiment exercises. We start on June 19th. Calls are on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, right? 12 noon Eastern. Yes. The full pay of the course is $997 US. The payment plan is $97 a month. So, and if you have, if you need help with that, support at terricole.com. Welcome, Grace. Welcome, Melody, to the course. I'm so happy that you are joining. So exciting. Moving into, I'm going to take questions. Can you start the course 1 week later? Yes, you can, Bibi. You absolutely can. You guys will see that wherever you are in the course, you're in the exact right place. We usually build in at least 1 week for people to catch up, right? So because this is some deep stuff, but we're right there. I am there the whole time, just holding your hand. May joined, congratulations, please do it. What are the capacity of the course, number of people? Well, I mean, there can really be, because it's virtual, there can be lots and lots of people. But what you care about, I think, Michelle, is, do I answer all the questions? And the answer is, I really do. We curate the questions. But I'm telling you right now, the last course that I did, I literally answered every question. So we are very dialed into you in this course. And if you've ever taken a course, and if there's any alumni here, tell people how well we take care of you. We also have all the questions weekly. And we have Coach Sarah, who I trained, who originally did one of my courses in 2017. So Solange said I can vouch for that. This is a really important aspect, is my eyes on your pain, my eyes on your problems, my eyes on your issue. Oh, Valerie is a Boundary Bootcamp alumni, right on. I took a mother wound course and it was awesome. Like, we really do have you. April said, everyone, Terri's courses have helped me so much. I go back and listen to them all the time. Yeah, because another thing is you have lifetime access, which, even though everyone in the world says that's ridiculous and I should not do that, I do that. You know why? Because there is so much value in the stuff. I want you to be going back to it. Solange said, Terri is my virtual safe mother. Oh, I'll be anybody's virtual mama. I am happy to be here. Worth every penny, said more immeasurable value. Did RLR, it was life-changing, life-transforming. So amazing. And thank you to, I mean, obviously it's a love fest with our people. All the sessions are recorded and you can ask questions in advance if you can't make it. So we're answering that question that people had. I love Terri's calling voice and presence. Ah, thanks, Maura. I look at all the workbooks and guidelines from your courses. It helps me when I feel down or insecure, said Linda. Amazing. Solange took Real Love Revolution 2020, Boundary Bootcamp 2021. Yes, it does feel, Megan, it feels like community doing it together. It does. And I think that is a special skill that actually me and Team TC have, honestly, in creating a real community where people are safe, where you are valued, where we hold you in high esteem, because I see your greatest potential. And I'm literally transfixed. I'm mesmerized by your greatest potential. I see it. I know that it's possible, So course starts on June 19th. That's a Wednesday, but the rest of the courses are on Thursday. So I think we drop the first module on the 19th, and then we start our first live meeting is the next Thursday. Is that right? It's worth the deep dive. Right on, said Jane. So anyway, Tracy, answer that question, please. Anyway, I'm going to intersperse course questions with people questions. So Kimberly asked, I have found my father wound to really impact me at work. For my romantic relationships, it has not been a factor other than when I was younger. Can you speak to why it would impact one part of our life and not others? Because we have different parts of ourself developed, Kimberly, more than others, right? So if you have like our injuries are all come at different ways for us. So for you, it perhaps has to do with what kind of a father wound you have. If you had an authoritarian father, it might hit you harder at work if you have an authoritarian boss. That makes sense? So it really depends on all of these different mitigating factors. that impact why. But it is very common. And it's common with boundaries too, that you might be good at boundaries in one area of your life and then terrible at it in your romantic relationships or vice versa. So that's not uncommon at all, right? Joyce answered the question. Yes. Okay. So you guys understand that? We drop it. The modules come out on Wednesdays, the day before, and then we have our meetings on Thursdays. So you'll always have a full week with the module before we are unpacking it together. All right. So Desiree said, my dad left when I was 11 and I just recently reconnected with him. I am now 32 and he hasn't really made any effort to work on our relationship. I want to know if it would be better to let go of this relationship for my healing. Well, do me a favor, Desiree. Don't let go before you do this work, because you are in a perfect position to do some accelerated healing if you have a father who's willing to have a conversation, even if he's not willing to do the work. Just being witnessed. Your healing is in the asking and in the asserting, right? So that's really important. So if you can do the course, I highly recommend that you do it, terricole.com/father wound, because this is a perfect, he was gone from 11 to 32, but now he's back in your life. This is could be a very, very profoundly healing situation for you, whether you want to stay having a connection with him or not. And in the course, we will be covering everything from going no contact, also reconnecting. And how can you do that in the safest, healthiest way for you that supports your healing the most? All right. You guys, I have a whole blog on how the mother wound and the father wound differ, which we uploaded to HQ for you. So terricole.com/HQ, because that's a long conversation. All right. Dunya said, how do I learn to accept love without getting turned off and feeling like I need to break things off in romantic relationships? Conversely, how do I stop being drawn to emotionally unavailable, abusive men who are disapproving of me and making me prove my worth? It's healing this wound, Dunya. Part of it is you've got to go back in time. We've got to go back to the scene of the crime, to the original injury, and start to untangle the being not good enough vibe, have to prove my worth, have to work for my worth, and love. It went like this in childhood. So our job in the course would be to, or you could also do this with a very skilled therapist, right? It doesn't have to be the course, but I have no doubt that you would do it in the course. This course is geared towards women. And we generally, mostly, have women. But I've also allowed men, a lot of times gay men, to come in. And usually it's 99% women, because we're talking about father-daughter wounds. Okay. Yes, we are. So does this course address how father wounds can affect our sexuality? My father loved me, but also sexualized me. And I have a history of being drawn to men who objectify me and have struggled to be attracted to my partner who does not objectify me. Absolutely. The objectification and the sexualization from a father creates a certain kind of self, how we see ourselves wound. And what is important and what isn't important. But being sexualized by a father, which of course is inappropriate, that creates its own kind of self-identification wound. So, and then we were certainly talking about that, because really in the course, we're breaking down all different levels and styles and types of father wounds, because we get them from so many different ones. That's the first time we've talked about that in this, but we will be handling that in the course. So I appreciate you actually bringing it up. Great. Yep. When will registration close? Well, it's open right now, so it'll close before the course starts. But if you can go to terricole.com/father wound if you want to do it. All right, moving on to the next question. Margarita said, but how can you change what you're attracted to? Healthy men are not sexually attractive to me. Will that come automatically? It will change, though, as you change, right? And sometimes there are ways within a healthy relationship, right? Think about how different it could be. You could have a very mild-mannered and respectful relationship outside of the bedroom, and you could have a very fiery, being dominated by somebody with each of your approval in the bedroom. Like there's ways. I have a close friend who's in a very healthy marriage, but she's turned on by like a bit of S&M and stuff like that and roughness with her partner. Now, I have zero judgment about that. What happens between two consenting adults, but she needs that to be turned on by her mild-mannered husband, and he happily obliges. So what I'm saying, Marguerite, is I think that there's a way that you can do it in a healthy way. I've absolutely seen it, right? Yeah. Terri, can you say more about how some of your clients in therapy think they are boring? Does that fit in with father wound? I think that what I was saying is that some of my clients think that healthy partners are boring because they're used to more trauma bonded stuff and more up and down stuff and more fighting stuff, you know? Wendy said, is your new book, Too Much, going to be available on audio? Yes, it is. Also released in October. Yes, it is. Woohoo. I'm very excited. All right. If we only have, hold on. If I can't make all of the sessions live, is it still okay to join the course? Of course. We have people who live in other places where they can never make it live and still get massive value out of the course. So my feeling is it doesn't matter. And we do everything for you. We record it. We transcribe it. We do all the things. So let's say you want to read it rather than watch it or listen to it. We rip the audio so that you can also just listen to it if you don't want to watch the video. Like any way that you learn, we have thought, how can we make this the most convenient for you and your incredibly busy life, which is basically what we're always doing. Yep. Hold on. Amy said, I'm not sexually attracted to my healthy, committed partner. I was always into musicians, affairs, unavailable men for great sex. I'm concerned in my current boyfriend, a father figure, and therefore I can't see him sexually. Well, that's something to unpack. And what would have to shift for you to be able to see him sexually, right? Because again, there are healthy ways that, and partners can get into, sex therapy and take courses together about livening up with people who are experts at all the varied ways that we get turned on. Like none of us choose the stuff that is erotic to us. We don't choose it. It just is what it is. We can change it though by healing the father wound. There's shifts in our behavior, and we can find healthy ways to engage in sexual behaviors that are satisfying to us, that are exciting to us, that are interesting to us. So there's that. Yeah. Why do we look too deep into things and try to create rejection even when it isn't happening? Because we're so afraid. It's a projection. We're so afraid it's going to happen. It's the thing. It's like having your anticipatory fear of having an anxiety attack giving you an anxiety attack. Do you know what I mean? We are pre-anxious, and then we're anxious, and then we're having an anxiety attack. Yeah. Okay. Do you really think I can heal my father wound even though I am 64? Hello. Yes, Debbie. I do believe you can. Because here's the thing. Look at all the women who are here of all ages. There is always healing that can happen. If you're on the fence about joining the course, if you liked this, you guys, if you like this way of being, if you like my way of teaching, if you like the space that's held for you, that's exactly what we do in the course. So if that's it, go to terricole.com/father wound and sign up, because why not? Yeah, it's time. And there's no time like the present, rather than thinking it's too late. Nidri said, why did I turn straight after my father died? This I cannot tell you. I do not know. Were you feeling like you were same-sex loving while your father was alive as a way to go against him, to rebel? I don't know. This would be something that we would have to really dive into, right? Yeah. All right, we are moving on. Someone said, I accidentally found a normal and wonderful man who loves me and is very healing. Is it possible? Does it work like that? Sometimes it does, Priya. Sometimes it does. How long will the replay for the 3-day workshop be available? That is a Team TC question. Welcome, Melissa, to Understand and Transform Your Father Wound 2024. I'm very excited that you are here. SCOP said, my dad decided to cut ties unannounced with no reason. How to grieve a past intense bond, somewhat toxic, with someone who's still alive and refuses to explain why he's leaving his family behind at 65. Makes me very anxious and unsafe. I feel I don't have any closure until he dies. Here's the thing, Sophia. You can write letters to him. You can process it within yourself. You have every right to feel exactly how you feel. It is so wrong. Just wrong. And it isn't the why that you need, right? It's the how is it impacting you that we care about, right? Sophia, this is about you, not about them. But since this person is still alive, maybe there is a chance that you can have a conversation, you know? Rachel said, I feel my relationships with men, especially father figure, overgive and get disappointed when they dismiss me, yet so thin-skinned, wanting the connection. But we have to be aware. Part of what we're doing is we're going to be doing in the course itself our father wound blueprint, breaking down like specifically what makes us vulnerable to whom and what kind of people, right? The overgiving stuff. It's like you don't want to overgive. You want mutuality in your relationship, but we need to, and I will walk you through this process with the exercises I'm giving you, this process of looking for your patterns, seeing what you're doing, right, in your relationships so that you can understand. And yes, we will be doing shadow, we will be covering shadow in the course itself, terricole.com/father wound. We will be talking about sort of the shadow of it all, because there's a lot of shame that comes along with having a father wound. And our job and what we do in this course is we're going to be shedding that shame, right? We're going to be shedding that shame. So, yeah, I'm so looking forward to diving more deeply into this. And keep in mind, you guys, I'm also going to be going live for the next, until the course starts. I'm going to be talking about father wound stuff. I'm going to be giving you more free stuff. I will be going live on Instagram. I will be doing all the things like I always do before a course, because I'm considering all of you. Maybe you can't afford it, right? But I love you anyway. I want you to heal anyway. So I will continue to be doing that. I think you mentioned somatic work. Can you explain more about that? Well, we always have energy work from Energy Lara in the courses as a way of, sometimes, as Chris Carr would say, you got some issues in your tissues. And a lot of times, obviously, we know psychological and emotional issues are also in our bodies. So we will do that type of work as well as a way of accelerating our healing. I find when we do both, it actually really moves the timeline up on the healing process, which is amazing. Yeah, someone said, is Boundary Boss book available in audio form and where to get it? It sure is. You can get it on Audible, I think. Yes. All right. Question from Lori. Any tips for suddenly being a caregiver for your father who wounded you? Oh, Lori, so much self-care. So much self-care. Because it's a lot, and get other people to help. And if you're helping more than other people, if you have siblings, if you have other people, try to hire people to help. So it's not just you, because that's just brutal. And if you can afford it, take the course, because this will be incredibly helpful support during this time. Because to suddenly become a caregiver, it's really beautiful. You guys listen, as we talked about on day one, I think it's worth repeating that this experience of having a father wound, it's not your fault, right? But having a father wound is about you, right? So let's make that distinction. You didn't do anything to make them behave the way they did, whether it's that they left or whether it's that they were abusive, right? Yeah. Can someone drop the sign up link in the chat? Oh, Joyce is so fast. I barely got it out of my mouth. There you have it. But really, thinking about the course itself, it's designed to give you what you need. For my 27 years as therapist and me, right? It's taught in a systematic, guided way to deconstruct any corrupted fear-based information, to replace it with the pure potential and the infinite possibilities, honestly, of your one-of-a-kind, amazing life. So if you like the format, if you like having a safe space to share, to be witnessed, being able to share secrets that you've been holding on to, because of course we know from Brene Brown and others and me that shame thrives in secrecy. And we just don't want that. It's so alone, right? Being in community is so important, knowing that you're not alone. Look at all these beautiful human beings from all over the world, right? What healing the father wound, right? Integrating it, honoring it. This is about raising your confidence, your worthiness, your self-respect, stopping self-sabotage, stopping putting up with shit from teenagers and subordinates and whomever, right? And doing it in your way, your style, right? You don't have to do it as spicy as I'd probably do it. It's healing from the inside out, shedding that shame, losing the guilt, questioning the guilt, like why? Why so guilty about so much? And you've been carrying this for so long. Maybe decide today is the moment you're going to power pivot into something different. Give yourself the gift of taking this course, of healing this wound. You don't have to go to the grave with this. You really don't. It's the reason I created the course, is because I didn't want to, right? I could not believe how much my life changed when I healed my own. So there's so much, right? It includes content on father wound and your children, right? How to break ties, how to go no contact if you need to, how to re-engage your father if that's something that you're wishing to do, how to stop the cycle for the next generation. You guys are so smart. I believe that you can heal. I have no doubt that you can do it, right? With the right guidance. And it doesn't have to be years of therapy. Those of you who have taken courses with me, you know this because you've done it. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I got more out of your 12-week or 8-week course than 15 years of therapy. And I'm a therapist, so I'm not putting down therapy, trust me. But there's something about getting to the heart of the matter and actually just doing what is required to do to heal rather than all the other stuff, right? And listen, the free stuff that I offer you is great, right? I give you truly valuable stuff. But if you can afford to take the course, you should do it. It is a game changer in your life. Welcome, Teresa. Welcome, Solange. People are joining. I love it. So, terricole.com/father wound. And stay with me on this journey, right? We still have time before it happens, right? So Grace said, I didn't believe I could afford the course, but then I realized I can't afford to not take it. And maybe it's part of the father wound to not want to invest in myself. Can I pin that comment, Grace? Because yes, you deserve it. You deserve it. And I can't wait. Like, how much of the time do we just say someone else needs something more? Someone else needs something more. You need something. You deserve something. How about for once, that can just fucking be about you, your healing, your life, the rest of your best life, your one and only amazing life. This is not a dress rehearsal, right? We're live, people. This is it. This is happening. There is literally no time like the present. And I am so excited, so honored to be the one to guide you on this journey to healing. Because on the other side of you healing this father wound is literally everything that you want is there. You will have the power and you will be empowered to create whatever it is that you want. And I will be cheering you on like a wild maniac the entire way. So I hope this added value to your life. If it did, if you want to take the course, go to terricole.com/father wound. Also keep your eyes open because I'm going to be going live and doing Q&As and taking your questions. But thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. You guys, you're my people. You know you are. I love you. I see your highest potential and I cannot wait to walk you through this process. So thank you. And as always, take care.